guys, it's Becky. Welcome back to my channel. If you're already subscribed to me, if you're new, hey, I hope you enjoyed today's video and you'll subscribe and become part of my YouTube channel family. I upload every single week tons of different videos about homeschooling and Disney and mom life and fitness and cleaning and organizing. So make sure if you like those types of videos that you subscribe if you're not already. Today I do have a homeschooling video and I don't have any notes. I'm not really that prepared, but it is something I wanted to sit down and talk to you guys about because I get a lot of questions about lesson planning, the type of planner that I use, how I go about making sure that our kids do all of their work every day, do they do every single subject every day, and how I lesson plan for those things. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. If you like homeschooling videos, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, and if you want to hear kind of how I lesson plan or kind of how I don't lesson plan, then stay tuned. Okay, so to talk about how I lesson plan now, we've got to rewind about 6.5 years when we first started homeschooling. Our oldest was in the middle of 4th grade and we pulled her out of public school, and then our youngest was in pre-K. So very big age difference, and I was only homeschooling my oldest at that point. So we had planned on homeschooling our oldest daughter starting in 5th grade, but we decided to go ahead and pull her out in the middle of 4th grade. So I had no curriculum purchased, I had no idea what I was doing, had nothing really researched other than the how to pull her out of public school. So I just assumed that it would take 6 hours, at least a day, because that's what she was doing in public school. I literally had her like writing a time card, like in this time, out this time, in this time, out this time. And then at the end of the week, we would total up all her hours, and I was always freaking out. Like, you only did 5 hours of school this day or 4 hours this day. And it was so stressful. I also used to sit down the weekend before that coming week of school, and I would like plan out everything that she was supposed to do. The pages, the lessons, everything she was supposed to do, thinking that that was what I was supposed to do. And that is what a lot of people do, and it works for them. But for us and for me and for her, I found that the more I would pre-plan what we were going to do, the more stressed out we were. Now, even when I dropped the whole time clock thing, we realized it doesn't take 6 hours to do homeschool. Even when I stopped doing that, I was still trying to lesson plan because I thought that's what I needed to do. And the more I would lesson plan, first of all, it took me a long time to do it every weekend. But also, the more I would plan, the more stressed out I would become when things got derailed and something didn't get done on a certain day. The more she would get stressed out because I was stressed out that she didn't get this certain page done yesterday, so now she's got to double up this day to catch up with what my plan was. This went on for a little while before I realized it was not working for me or for her. It was making homeschooling way more stressful than it had to be, and I stopped doing that. Before I stopped doing that though, I even had made a planner video about a homeschool planner that I was using, and I still think it's a great planner if you do like to plan, but I don't plan anymore. I don't have a homeschool planner. I don't do lesson plans. I don't do any of that stuff. We take every lesson as it comes, so we just follow along the book. I'm not terribly stressed out, especially with my youngest who now is finishing up 4th grade. I'm not terribly stressed out if she doesn't finish grade 4 workbook in 4th grade. Now, obviously that's the goal, but if it doesn't happen, but I know that we've done a significant amount of work, I know we've been diligent, I know she's learning, I'm not stressed out about the fact that it may say grade 4 on this book, but she's going into 5th grade. As long as I know she is learning and I feel like she is where she should be, that's okay. The blessing of just taking the lessons as they come. When you're not married to a grade level and you're not married to a lesson book, it makes homeschooling so much more relaxing and enjoyable. You have more time to stop and spend on things that maybe your child asks a question and you really want to delve into that, or you realize they have a really big interest in a certain thing. You don't want to have to be stuck with this lesson plan that you did all these lessons for science you're supposed to do for the next 2 weeks, but your child really wants to stop and do maybe a unit study about, you know, anteaters or the solar system. You can't really do that if you're married to a lesson planner. If you do want to see a written list of what your kids did each day, the page numbers, the tests, the quizzes, the whatever they read, if you want to keep a log of that just for your own reference, or if your state requires it, what I used to do with my oldest was I would list out her subjects in just a little spreadsheet I made on Word, list out her subjects on the side, and then across I would go the days of the week, and then every day in each subject she would write down what she did. That way, at the end of the day, I could see what she actually did, was she doing all of her work, and it gave me a good, it gave me something good to keep for records, just so I could say, hey, this is what we did, you know, this week in November. This is what we did for the whole month of December. So it was kind of like lesson planning in reverse, and that worked for us for a very, very long time until she got to the point where she was independent enough that she was working all on her own. So I do not lesson plan anymore. We follow every lesson as it comes. It has given us so much freedom and more relaxation in our homeschool day. So, and it saves me a lot of time because I'm not doing a bunch of prep work. Yes, I have to plan curriculum and I have to make sure we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, but I'm not spending all of this time planning out each lesson for each day. So basically what I do with my oldest, she knows she's got a schedule. She's in high school, so she's got a schedule pretty much that is in her curriculum that tells her what to do each day. I don't have to be involved in that because she knows what's coming because of that. With my youngest, like I said, she's finishing up 4th grade, going into 5th in the fall. What we do, we take every lesson as it comes. We'll start the morning with corrections. We'll go over any mistakes she made in the previous day's work that I have graded. We sit down and go over any corrections, and then I just write out what she's supposed to do that day. So word study, page 64, spelling, page 19, vocabulary for the day. I just write it all down on a post-it note or a little notepad or whatever, or she'll write it down, and that way she still has a list of things that she knows she's expected to do, but it's what we are deciding that morning to do. And she knows that that's what she's supposed to do before the day is over. That's what I've learned in the almost 7 years that we've been homeschooling. It's just been so much easier and more relaxing and more freeing for us to be able to take it one lesson at a time, one day at a time, and not stress out so much about lesson planning. So no lesson planning really here, unless I have a special unit study that I'm, you know, creating or something, but otherwise it's just every lesson as it comes, and no homeschooling planner for us. I also get asked a lot about, do my girls do every subject every day? For the most part, yes, my oldest especially, at least right now. Now, she's gonna be taking a college class in the fall, and I don't know yet how that's gonna be set up. That's the first time we've ever experienced that with her. It's an online class. I don't know if it's gonna be something that's gonna require her to have work every day. That's kind of out of my hands because I'm not teaching that class. But as far as everything else, like science and math and geography and history and all that stuff, yes, she does every subject every single day. With my youngest, for the most part, yes. Again, 5th grade is going to be a little bit different because it's going to be the first time that she's had a full year science course and a full year history course. Last year, or this current school year, her history course was 1 semester. So that gave us another semester to do something else, like science. So it's going to be a little bit different. I'm still kind of unsure how that's going to work out, but in my plan going forward, at least for 5th and 6th grade, I'm going to put everything else, I'm going to put everything first that's the most important. So her math, her reading, her spelling, her vocabulary, those things to me are top priority. Then it's history, then it's science. At this age anyway. So we always start with the most important and work our way down. That way, if we run out of time or something does come up, then we're missing the least important subject right now at this age. Not that science isn't important, not that history is not important, but I don't think at this age it's as important as spelling, vocabulary, and math and reading. So we always put those things first. So that's kind of how we've played it so far. That's kind of how it's worked out with us so far and been the best way for us to do it. Between those two things of kind of taking every lesson as it comes and putting the most important subjects first, that kind of gives us a flow of our day. It gives us a little bit of a routine, but not a schedule, not a lesson plan. It's just a flow of our homeschool day. And that's what's worked best for us. So you really have to figure out what's gonna work best for you, what's gonna work best for your kids. It has a lot to do with how many kids you're homeschooling, their ages, do you have any disabilities that you're working with, do you work from home while you're trying to homeschool, are you working full-time outside of the home and then coming home and doing homeschool at night. It really all depends. You have to find that flow that's going to work best for you, but don't feel like you have to be doing a big lesson plan every week or you have to be married to this schedule every day. It doesn't have to be that way. And I want to encourage you guys that if you've been trying to do homeschool that way and you've been trying to make it take, 6 or 7 hours a day, or you've been trying to do these lesson plans and they're not working and you're getting behind, you don't have to do that. You are able to change what's not working for you and make it work for you. And that's one of the main benefits and blessings of homeschooling. So just to kind of encourage you guys while answering your question of how we lesson plan or do we lesson plan, and what subjects we do every day. I hope this video was helpful and gave you a little bit of encouragement. Don't be afraid. Trial and error is your best friend. That's the only way you're going to figure out what's going to work best for you and your kids is by trying something, and if it doesn't work, trying something else. Don't be married to something just because you thought it was going to work. it may not work. You have to be able to kind of roll with the punches and figure out, okay, this didn't work. What can I try next that's going to make a difference? What can I do differently that may work better than what I was doing before? And eventually you kind of stumble on something that is a good match for you and for your kids. I hope this video was helpful and it answered your question. If you liked it and it encouraged you, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already, and make sure you check out my homeschooling playlist. It's linked for you in the description box. Every homeschooling video I've ever made is in that playlist, so there are tons of them to look over and hopefully get some good homeschooling advice and motivation and inspiration from, so make sure you check that out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.